Today I'm going to share with you 3 creative ways to stop obsessing over being productive. Maybe you're very used to that experience of getting to sit on the sofa when you're exhausted and need a break and you're plagued with feelings of guilt. This is the video for you if that's so. My first tip is to have an unproductive hour once a week. The reason why I'm getting you to do it once a week is because us humans are so good at getting comfortable with things once we've done them a number of times. It's all about repetition. The more we do something, the easier it becomes.
So why don't you have this unproductive hour where you don't do anything
to achieve anything? You just do it for fun, and hey, that makes you present, and being present is the most peaceful thing to experience. You're not doing it to monetize, to make money, you're just creating or doing something just for the hell of it, because you had that kind of inner desire, inner yearning calling out to you that I wanted to make this. That was mine. I had the need to be arts and crafty. I made this, I know it's quite childish, but actually I quite like it, and I'm going to write some affirmations in here or something. So I cut out some little bits from a magazine, some words that I quite liked. Anyway, I did this with the intention of actually hanging it up on my wall. I don't think it's going to make it to the wall, but halfway through I was like, I'm going to keep going because this feels quite liberating and quite nice, and I was playing some jazz music and I was just like, wow, when's the last time that I did something just because I felt like it without expecting to gain anything from it, without turning it into a side hustle. Also, I realised halfway through that I was very detached from any kind of outcome or expectation. I wasn't trying to feel a certain way. I wasn't trying to get rid of all negativity and feel super happy. I was really just living in the moment. That felt incredible. We've all heard people say it's counterproductive to work against your body, to push yourself too hard. You need to take breaks so you feel better. And it's the so you feel better bit that I don't like, because again, that's another expectation, another outcome that you're waiting to happen, and you put too much pressure on yourself. And I want to alleviate all pressure, and I'm trying to encourage you to basically be more present. I don't want you to do something fun so you're more productive later. The so you're more productive later part of that sentence I don't enjoy. Let's get rid of that. If you're interested in pottery painting and you have a lot of questions and you're quite curious about it, listen to that curiosity. That curiosity is enough to urge you to do something. I think we should explore those things that we have questions about, because they're just interests. According to new psychology research involving the University of Warwick, you can hack your brain to form good habits like going to the gym and eating healthily simply by repeating actions until they stick. Much of what we do is driven by habits. So we as humans are simply like a combination of habits. Isn't that crazy to think? But we are what we do every day. As humans, we are kind of a result of the things that we repeat on a daily basis. If you're someone that meditates every day, that looks after their body, that eats, good foods, that exercises, you'll most likely be quite a calm, thoughtful person, someone that has a lot of self-respect and self-love maybe. Whereas if you're someone that watches a lot of TV that doesn't fulfill you, or someone that drinks too much, overindulges, then you'll certainly hold yourself a different way to the person that meditates every day. We are a consequence of our habits. Another sip of green tea. I'm on the green tea. I was going to have a coffee and I thought I really want to look after myself, and right now that looks like staying away from coffee and trying to have something a little bit more tame. I haven't waxed my upper lip or removed the hair from my upper lip, and I was like, shall I film this video because the sun is directly on me and you can probably see it? But I thought, do you know what? I'm human, I grow hair, I'm not going to hide that. The shame that's brought on me is not something that I deeply believe to be something to be shameful of. It's societal, it's rubbish. Just thought I'd share that with you. Our next tip is going to be about comparing yourself, comparing your productivity, comparing your work self to others, to other people's work selves. This is the worst thing you can do, and this is another habit I want you to erase. I want you to stop regularly comparing your work self to someone else's work self. I know it's really hard now in our modern technology world where we go on Instagram and we go on a story and we see what people have planned for the day. Grace Beverley, I don't know if she does it anymore, but when I followed her, she used to do a full-on timetable of her day and she used to share it on her story. It's so easy to judge yourself when you see that kind of content, when you see what other people are doing. I really want you to remind yourself what's productive for someone else might not be productive for you. In fact, it most likely isn't, because we're all so different. We all work in completely different ways. I'm sure my favourite meal is very different to your favourite meal. I'm sure my favourite type of exercise is very different to yours. I'm sure my favourite place in the world to be that's the most relaxing and most home to me is very different to yours. We're all so different. We don't need to work like Debbie's working really hard at her laptop the whole time. That might be really productive for her, but what's productive for you might be so different. It might mean working 4 hours a day and going out in nature and sourcing inspiration to help with your content creation. I just want to basically discourage you from going on social media so much, especially fast-paced social media where we're getting to see what so many people are doing with their days, i.e. TikTok and Instagram. YouTube you can be more picky with. I encourage you not to, if you're struggling with productivity, not to watch my productive day vlogs, because then again you're just observing someone else do their work in their certain way that works for them, and then you're going to judge yourself for doing it slightly differently if it's kind of glamorized to be perfect. We all work so well in different ways. Also, I haven't read extensively about this, but women work differently to men because of our cycles, our menstrual cycles.
I'll leave a link to this really interesting article in the description.
If you're constantly falling into that trap of comparing yourself to others, then you will start to mimic what they're doing because you're essentially telling yourself that you're not enough. I find myself, I don't know if you're the same, I really sync up to other people's kind of work schedules. I really start to mimic what other people do, and I think it's because really internally I'm judging myself. You're not working hard enough. Maybe it's because I'm attached to an end goal as well and I'm not where I want to be, whereas I really need to work on just being really happy with what I've got now and what I'm doing each day. And my third tip will go into more detail on how you can feel more kind of happy and comfortable with what you've got now. If you're someone who has the freedom to kind of pick and choose when and how they work, then you really should listen to yourself and what works for you. Some people get their best work done in the morning, or some people are night owls and they can just get the best flow at that time because, you know, everyone's asleep and there's less pressure and less noise. Some people need only a few hours to create a masterpiece, whereas some people might need to really sit down and write things out and research. And as Teddy Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. Don't try and pretend you've got more energy because someone else is still working around you and it's making you feel bad. Just think, I've done my bit and that's all I've got left in my cup. It's empty now, time to fill it up. Time to go for a walk. Focus on your creations, not other people's creations. My last tip is to set yourself realistic short-term goals that you can meet every day. When you want to set those goals is up to you. As I said, we're all different. It's really easy to judge yourself and think, I haven't done enough. If you look at your goals and you've met them all, you can really see everything you've done. Now, when setting these goals, I want to remind you that a little goes a long way. What's the other cliche? Slow and steady wins the race. Another cliche, it's not about the destiny, it's about the journey. So basically, it's not about that end goal. You might be telling yourself, when I reach that end goal, then I can relax, then I can be happy. That should not be your focus. Your focus should be on being able to self-reflect right now and rest right now and grow.
And that requires you taking your time at work, having regular breaks, and not pushing yourself too hard.
I just don't want you to overwork yourself and get lost in trying to make it. When you set that kind of goal and you're so hell-bent and focused on reaching it, you're miserable until you get there. And then when you get there, a new goal, a more glamorous destination appears. It'll never be enough until you realise right now can be enough. Set realistic work and personal goals. Make sure when you're setting these goals, they're allowing you to be able to look back on your week and think, that was a nice and fulfilling week. When you're setting these goals, please be sure to include regular breaks. I was doing some research and apparently the golden time to break for is 17 minutes, but remember we're all different, so that might not be the case for you, and you might be able to have more time off, and if you can, I encourage that all the time because we work ourselves too hard. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a YouTube short of mine that kind of sums up everything quite nicely. Please subscribe, like and comment as well. Thank you. Sometimes we all need to hear this. You're simply a human living on this planet. You're not a robot here to work. You're a being here to exist. To exist, you simply need to look after yourself, drink plenty of water, move your body in whatever way feels good for you, and relax, rest. Productivity is synonymous with work now, when I think being productive should be more about nurturing ourselves and looking after ourselves. And I know it's easy for me to say that when our world isn't designed so we can focus on that, but maybe this could just be a nice excuse for you to focus on you in this moment. You obviously have the time because you're scrolling through YouTube. Go and do something for you now. Meditate, journal, make yourself some healthy food.